Okay.
Okay.
You all thought it.
Yeah.
Could Mike Malone return as the head coach of the Kings?
No. Just no. That this isn't. Would he be good? Would you like to? That's not what the question is. There has been many a bridge burned. Now, I think it would actually be cool if he did for a number of reasons. First off, I think he's a great coach. And this is Doug aside. This isn't me being disrespectful to Doug. I'm saying if he returned, it would represent some sort of come to Jesus meeting. And I think it would really show that the franchise, and you've got all these titanic egos that somehow went, let's put all this aside, learn from our mistakes, let's try it again. Like, I would actually be kind of excited about that. It would show a lot of humility from the organization as well, because he's said a few things since he left. But I don't think Mike Malone would come back if it was the last job in the NBA while current ownership is here. And I don't think current ownership would invite him back.
Yeah, I think it's two-part, right? Yeah, I think there'll be some other offers for him at some point when that is. I mean, this is pretty fresh. It's the end of a season, so he didn't get fired mid-season where he had a whole rest of the season to watch. We'll see how quickly the offers come to him, but I just can't see it on both sides.
So in a vacuum, that would be the perfect pick for the Kings, right?
Mike Malone?
Yeah. It's just like this coach with this record.
You talking about maybe a coach that has some experience playing with a pretty versatile center, right? And then you've got a 3-and-D guy. And, well, I mean, actually, it would have been – we've talked about this before when the Kings had Fox. You know, Keegan Murray was your diet version of Aaron Gordon. Sabonis was diet Jokic. And then Jamal Murray's actually diet Fox. But there were very, very big similarities between them. Yeah, no, he would be second perfect coach behind Doug, right? Right? Come on.
Right.
All right. Number, what? Oh, 3. Yeah.
Question 3.
Okay. Forget about Malone. Would you be interested in the GM they fired, Calvin Booth?
No. This one I would not.
No,
Scotty. No. Nope. No offense to Calvin Booth. And maybe he got, look, just because you were one way, one place, maybe maybe Calvin Booth will go on to win Executive of the Year somewhere. So I'm not a fan of his tenure in Denver. I believe that Tim Conley deserves 98% of the credit for building that team. And when you look at Calvin Booth's transactions, and more importantly, what he didn't do, I'm not particularly impressed with his drafts. I'm not impressed with his transactions. I just don't think he did a particularly good job.
Yeah, I'm not as well. And I think it's one of those situations where he played in Denver. I think that's his place where he gets that job. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of other teams coveting him. He may have to kind of work his way back through a system, through some team, but he was a Nugget at one point, and that's an organization that said, we're interested in you. He worked his way through there, and I just don't think it works in other markets for him.
He was a Nugget at some point.
Yeah.
Also, Sacramento King.
Yeah.
1 year. I believe it was his final year. I could be wrong about that. I want to say his final year in the NBA. Calvin Booth was a Sacramento King. It'll be very interesting to follow Denver and what they're doing. Chris on the on the chat line says, "Really, Dave? You wouldn't take one of the 32 head coaching jobs of an NBA team? What do you expect? He wouldn't take Sacramento. He'd go be an assistant somewhere else first, and he's going to have suitors.
I don't even think he'd take an assistant. He just wouldn't work.
Yeah, no,
He'll
I agree
be
with
another
you.
head coach if he wants to do it.
100%. And I was thinking about this. If I'm Michael Malone and he's got a family, maybe you take a year off. But also, I feel like I don't know. I feel like Michael Malone could be a really good TV analyst. Like one of the like an ESPN or an NBC. And I wonder if Mike Malone would be a good TV analyst. You never know.
I don't know.
He might suck too, by the way.
He doesn't seem like the excitable guy.
But I think he also, plus that little New York accent, I could see him being like the blunt head coach that's like, you got to do better than that. Look at what this guy's doing. And, almost like in a Mike Fratello kind of vein, if you will. There's a long history of to the point acerbic ex-head coaches that come in and really do have, whether it's Hubie Brown, whether it's Mike Fratello. I mean, there's a number of these coaches that come in and do really good jobs being analysts. I just don't know. He's personable.
Yeah, and I think more of that can open up. I remember at the very beginning, like when Jeff Van Gundy, I'm like, Jeff Van Gundy?
Yeah.
And then over time, you're like, there's a lot of personality in there.
Yeah. And he's great.
Yeah. Stan does it.
Yeah, he's fine.
You don't like Stan?
Okay. I don't know if I don't like Stan Van Gundy or I don't like the whole Kinko's thing and how he screwed us, and then that affects my I don't. I'm being honest. I don't know if that's coloring my thoughts on Stan Van Gundy.
I like that. That's your answer after. Why are people mad at Michael Malone for going after the Kings?
That's different, Chris.
Yeah.
Also, his mustache. It's just weird.
That's it.
Don't like it. But with Jeff Van Gundy, my big worry about him being in the booth was he never, all we knew about him was he coached the Knicks and Rockets and all that, but like him holding on to whatever it was, Alonzo Mourning's leg. And when you heard him going to be an analyst, he was generally very muted in his press conferences and media availability. Could he match the energy of the play-by-play guy if he went national? And it turned out he did match the energy of the broadcast. A lot of energy there from Jeff Van Gundy. Oh, speaking of,
I just found a very good Michael Malone clip.
I knew you were looking at something. Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. Good morning, hello, and hi. American Energy knows, as we all do, anyone who has spent any time in the greater Sacramento area, that whilst this week and for the foreseeable future, it's going to be lovely, lovely weather. Eventually, this entire city and the surrounding area is just going to be a darn fireball. Oh, God. I try to check the weather every American Energy spot. Have you guys looked at the weather forecast today for the next 10 days? Son of a biscuit. Next Thursday, 92. Friday, 91. 84, 86, 82, 87, 92, 91. Well, that's a bunch of crapperoni. Come on, man. In April, early April, this summer is going to suck. But American Energy is there for you to make sure that your air conditioner and your furnace for next winter are working perfectly. Listen, guys, do not wait until it's hot outside, scorching, and your AC goes out because you didn't get it tuned up. And then you got to wait in line and everyone's AC went out. Get it done and check right now. $24.50. That's half off the normal tune-up. Or you can just get an inspection for free, for nothing, from a company that's been around since 1981. Greater Sacramento area is where they serve. Give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave Essential. We'll take a break. When we come back, what a